Today on Week in Review, 3 Wet'suwet'en land defenders were sentenced, the renovated Prince Rupert Emergency Unit was opened up, and we look at the potential effects of the Prince Rupert Walmart's closure. Hello, I'm Cael Maslin, and thanks for joining us here on Week in Review, where we cover all of the news here in the Northwest from this past week. 3 Wet'suwet'en land defenders were in a Smithers courtroom last Friday to be sentenced for their roles in opposing the Coastal GasLink pipeline construction, which ran through Wet'suwet'en territory. Friday's sentencing technically included jail time for the 3 accused, 17 days in jail for Slado, 12 for Jocko, and 9 for Sampson, with less time already served in custody, with a further reduction of 2 to 5 days for acknowledged violation of their charter rights. However, the judge suspended the implementation of those sentences and ordered the defenders to complete 150 hours of community service rather than serve time behind bars, save for breach of recognizance in the next year. In explaining his decision to suspend the sentences, the judge said he took into account the province of British Columbia's and the government of Canada's disrespect for the rights and interests of the Wet'suwet'en Nation. Amnesty International, who was in attendance at the sentencing, still described the decision as a chilling message, with America's director saying they should have never been arrested in the first place. A post from the Gidimt'en checkpoint stated, "We are all excited about this precedent-setting decision and all that it encompasses."
We couldn't have done it without all of you. And it feels really good today to not be going to jail. And I just can never, I don't think that there's ever going to be words to describe the amounts of love and support that I feel today, and the love and support that I felt every single day through this whole fight. That it just really isn't about me, it's not about us, it's not about anybody, it's about all of us. And I just felt that on day one of court when so many people showed up. Every day of court that everybody's shown up. Every day of reoccupation and building on the Yinta. Every day of blockades where people just came out and they showed up.
The newly renovated Prince Rupert Emergency Unit opened with cultural pride and heartfelt celebration, bringing together local leaders, Indigenous elders, and youth for a ceremony rooted in healing and tradition. CFTK-TV's Helen Asante has more.
The opening of the renovated emergency unit in Prince Rupert wasn't just about new walls and equipment, it was a moment of renewal for the entire community.
We can always live together in harmony, no matter where you're from, no matter what your nationality is, no matter what tribe you belong to, we are one.
Traditional Indigenous dance performers set the tone. Followed by a ceremonial blessing from elders and healers using sage and cedar boughs, a powerful symbol of cleansing and protection. The mayor, in high spirit, highlighted not only the importance of renovation, but also the investment behind it.
What the Northwest Regional Hospital District is, it brings together the communities across the Northwest, all the way over to Houston, to Haida Gwaii. And together, we represent the taxpayers who fund 40% of the capital project costs. This was a $16.5 million renovation. You, together in the Northwest, if you own a home, on your tax bill is a line item that says, there you go, there we go, there's one right there. So there's a line item that says Northwest Regional Hospital District. You put $6.6 million towards this $16.5 million project. So congratulations to you.
The ceremony ended with a healing song, performed for all those who are grieving and in need of comfort. CFTK-TV News, Helen Asante.
Next up is a look at some of the potential consequences of a major store closure from the end of last month in Prince Rupert. Back in late September, the Walmart location in the city of Prince Rupert permanently shut its doors. The store initially was closed down temporarily back in July due to what Walmart said was concerns for the safety of their associates and customers, and it was only a couple of months after the sidewalk alongside the Rupert Square Mall partially collapsed. But Walmart next stated that they then conducted a larger review of that location, and they concluded that the best course of action was to completely cease operations. And questions remain about what kind of effect this closure will have on Prince Rupert and its surrounding area. Prince Rupert Mayor Herb Pond pointed out how disappointing it is to lose a major store like Walmart, but he remained optimistic about the city's future and ability to adapt.
It's a setback. Losing a major employer and retailer like Walmart is certainly a setback. We've been taking some great steps forward, and it's always a little frustrating when you take 2 steps forward and you end up with 1 back. But that's all it is. Walmart played an important role in the community as an employer and as a retailer. Someone will fill that gap, and we're working with a number of possible retailers now that we think might fit the bill.
As for what some local citizens thought, one person was not happy with the closure and had some ideas on what should have happened instead.
It's not all right because Walmart should have been expanded. It should have been bigger. Where they built Walmart, it used to be just a big garden. And now that you see it's falling down, that's sad, yeah.
But another one believed that there might be some good to come out of the closure as well.
Well, initially, a lot of people are going to miss their low prices and such. But I believe that a lot of the low prices that in the other stores will come back. Because the Walmart actually drains a lot of that. They do a lot of purchase, and then nobody else can have any.
Although now anyone from Prince Rupert looking to specifically go to Walmart will have a harder time getting to a location since the next closest store is in Terrace, which is about an hour and a half away by vehicle. And since not everyone has the means to get there, Mayor Pond also brought up some other closer by options that Prince Rupert residents might turn to in order to get their shopping done.
There's a lot of choices in town still. Places like the Bargain Shop. There's Shoppers Drug Mart carries groceries. Not a wide variety, but there's some good pricing on those things. So if you kind of hunt around, what was nice about Walmart, it was all in one spot. If you go down to Home Hardware, down at the basement of the mall, you'll find that they carry a number of household items that I think people might not expect to be there if they haven't been in a Home Hardware for a long time. So as you move around the community, there are other outlets. There's a lot of great small retailers as well. It's certainly a challenge, and we look forward to having that spot filled with somebody else.
For CFTK-TV News, I'm Cael Maslin. Up next, the Lochwell Lambs Band is getting you housing in Prince Rupert. Welcome back. Healthcare and infrastructure remain key priorities for the province. These topics took center stage in Prince Rupert, from ongoing labor disputes to major investments in local hospitals. Provincial leaders says that progress is being made even amidst the challenges. CFTK-TV's Helen Asante again has more.
As the GEU strike enters its 7th week, the finance minister says government is balancing fair compensation with economic stability.
We're very looking forward to getting back to the table. And there are 2 competing factors that we're managing right now. One is to make sure that these workers are compensated fairly, that they have safe working conditions and good lives in these jobs. We've offered 5% over 2 years, which keeps these workers protected from inflation. The BCGEU is asking for 4% each year and 4% on top of that in additional benefits. That's 12%, which is a challenging ask for us in this economy. So it's important that we solve this challenge, and we do want to get back to the table, but we have to solve it in a way that's fair for all British Columbians.
When asked how government prioritizes investment, especially at a time where labor negotiations and budget pressures are ongoing, the Finance Minister Bailey says investment like this go beyond infrastructure.
Yes, there's a number of different ways where regional projects gets prioritized, and one, of course, is through the Resource Benefits Alliance, which was an agreement that we came to last year after hearing very clearly from small communities and rural communities that there was a feeling that resources were taken out of the community but not put back in the same level. And so the Resource Benefit Alliance is designed to address that challenge, and I know has been a very welcome addition to smaller communities. Smaller communities struggle because they don't have the same number of people to draw for tax base. So it's important that we come up for solutions that work for rural and remote communities.
And while Prince Rupert celebrates its hospital milestone, the minister says there is still more work ahead, including ongoing infrastructure and water system improvements.
Well, I think when you think about infrastructure like a hospital and like schools and like the housing that we've been building here in Prince Rupert and elsewhere, it really is an economic investment as well as a social investment, because when people consider where they would like to live and grow their lives and raise their children, they look at the infrastructure. And so that's one of the reasons it's so important that we continue this work. There's more work to be done. I'm here in Prince Rupert. We know there are challenges in regards to water, for example. The province has funded $110 million into water so far, but there's more work to be done.
CFTK-TV News, Helen Asante.
Some major announcements regarding new housing for the Loch Willam's Band were made towards the end of last week. Last week saw an announcement revealed that the Loch Willam's Band will be getting new affordable rental homes to house their members in the city of Prince Rupert. Prince Rupert Mayor Herb Pond attended the new project's groundbreaking and then later talked about some more details of the project.
There are 38 units, of a variety of studio, 1-bedroom and 2-bedroom units. Walkable right across from Save-On, so walkable within the community.
The housing project will be located at 836 3rd Avenue in Prince Rupert, and it's expected to be completed sometime in the fall of 2027. The province of BC provided over $15 million in total to this project through BC Housing. Mayor Pond also mentioned the key role that the city of Prince Rupert played in putting this development in motion, in addition to how this project should really benefit a lot of people, including the city.
The city of Prince Rupert, previous council, this council continued those policies, has opened the door to encourage that kind of development in the downtown core, waiving building fees, waiving development cost charges, eliminating parking requirements, all kinds of things to make it easier to get a project across the line in the downtown core. Huge step forward for the community to see new housing in the downtown. I think it's particularly relevant for seniors in that, a senior could live in those units, not have a vehicle, be able to just walk across the street and get their groceries. But it's also, every time they build another housing unit, like they're completing the 70-unit apartment block on 11th, now we have 38 units going in there. That's 108 families that are no longer putting pressure on the Prince Rupert housing market, right? And so every time one of those developments goes ahead, it's good for the whole community, and we're certainly looking forward to seeing more of them go.
The Loch Willam's WAP Housing Society owns the building and has control over what happens with it, although the city of Prince Rupert will act as an overseer for the building in order to make sure that quality standards are met. This announcement also came alongside another revelation that the band is opening 20 new rental homes in another on-reserve community near Prince Rupert that's only accessible by boat. For CFTK-TV News, I'm Cael Maslin. The Houston and Smithers RCMP detachments have teamed up to ask for help from the public to find a wanted man. Devin Christopher Fuller is from Telqua and is wanted on multiple warrants for a variety of alleged offenses. such as breach of probation, mischief under $5,000, assault with a weapon, as well as break and enter. Fuller's description is that of a 39-year-old, 5'10" and 181-pound Caucasian male with hazel eyes and brown hair. He's believed to be somewhere in either the area around Smithers or Houston, and anyone who has information relating to his location is asked to call the Smithers RCMP at 250-847-3233 or the Houston RCMP at 250-845-2204. After the break, the Burns Lake RCMP are trying to find a man accused of assault. Welcome back. The Kitimat RCMP recently put out a report detailing what the detachment encountered between October 9th and 15th. One part of the report mentioned how officers were checking to see if drivers traveling along Highway 37 near the Kitimat Village Road had installed their winter tires yet. The report said that about 65 vehicles were checked, and most of them either had the proper tires or were set to get them installed within the week. Any vehicles who attempt to travel on the highway without winter tires might be prevented from partaking in any highway travel and receive a fine of up to $121. The Burns Lake RCMP are attempting to find a man that allegedly committed an assault several months ago. Back on July 11th of this year, the Burns Lake police got a call reporting that a 14-year-old girl had been grabbed in the neck area by a man that also allegedly tried grabbing her waist before he walked away. The suspect in this case has been described as a 50 to 55-year-old male with gray hair, a brown beard, dark clothes, and possibly smelling of alcohol. A sketch of the suspect has been made, and anyone who might know where he's located is asked to contact the Burns Lake RCMP at 250-692-7171. Coast Mountain College is undergoing major restructuring to reduce annual spending by $4 million. The plan includes closing the Hazleton campus by June 2026 and shifting focus to three main campuses, the ones in Terrace, Prince Rupert, and Smithers. The college says the changes come as international student revenues decline, prompting a 20% workforce reduction across departments. President Lori Way says the decision was difficult but necessary to build a sustainable future, adding that Hazleton residents will still have access to training through community spaces and mobile units. Still to come, the annual Nation to Nation Forum was held this week. Welcome back. First Nations, industry leaders, government, and stakeholders converged in Kitimat this week for the 9th Annual Nation to Nation Forum, an event focusing on economic development and collaboration. CFTK-TV's Cael Maslin has more.
Technical expertise alone isn't enough. Indigenous knowledge, stewardship, and guidance are essential to shaping this project and protecting ecosystems and respecting rights.
The Nation to Nation Forum aims to foster meaningful conversations about Indigenous-led projects and opportunities in sectors like natural gas, mining, and energy. This year's forum included a visit from Minister Rajan Sawhney, Alberta's Minister of Indigenous Relations. Her main message: Alberta's pipeline proposition is far from consultation phases, and the early feasibility study is just that. She said an application process is underway, but that plan is currently merely conversations. She promised that herself and Alberta acknowledge the lack of Indigenous consultation there's been in the past and is committed to appropriately consulting on this project if plans do proceed. Sawhney said Alberta is open to Indigenous ownership in the proposed project and referred to the Alberta Indigenous Opportunities Corporation. MP Ellis Ross was another speaker. He highlighted an interest in lifting BC's tanker moratorium for what he said was the necessity of industry, and also said the industrial carbon tax needs to go as the impact to taxpayers' cost of living will only increase. The forum was set to wrap up today with a visit expected from the Premier. For CFTK-TV News in Kitimat, I'm Cael Maslin.
A new report shows Canada is losing young nurses at an alarming rate, but in BC, health officials say ongoing efforts are helping slow the trend. CFTK-TV's Helena Sante has more on what Northern Health's doing to tackle the worker shortage.
A new study by Montreal Economic Institute reveals that across Canada, 40 nurses under the age of 35 are leaving the workforce for every 100 who enter. But in British Columbia, the numbers are slightly better, with about 27 young nurses leaving for every 100 new recruits. The president and CEO of Northern Health acknowledges the issue and says it's pushing forward with 4 key strategies to attract and retain health workers. Those strategies include competitive incentive packages, targeted recruitment effort across Canada and into the U.S., and stronger partnerships with colleges and universities to expand local training opportunities. In addition, he elaborates on training and redesigning.
The third stream is training, doing a lot of work to create opportunities locally for people to earn and learn, start a career as a care aide, mental health clinician, trying to create different laddering opportunities as well. So if someone starts a career as a care aide, how could they then potentially ladder to become a licensed practical nurse, for example? And then the fourth stream is redesign. So really looking at how do we do things differently. Nurse-led models of care using nurse practitioners, also using new virtual health, virtual care options. Over the last year, for the first time, we have nurse practitioner working in ER in northern BC, and we also have been partnering with the Rural Coordinating Centre in BC for many years to create virtual real-time supports to support healthcare providers to provide services in the north. And then we partnered with Teladoc for the first time to keep emergency room service going in Fraser Lake.
Nationally, the shortage continues to grow, but British Columbia's effort to streamline training and improve working conditions may offer a model for the rest of the country. CFTK-TV News, Helen Asante.
The City of Prince Rupert recently announced that they would soon begin working on some upgrades in the local Civic Center auditorium. In the last few days of November, the center is going to be temporarily closed in order to have its lighting fixtures and ceiling material replaced. This work is being done because the aforementioned material and fixtures are getting older, and the city is looking to improve safety and energy efficiency in the building. J&J Construction will be the ones who are responsible for instituting the upgrades. Earlier this week, the District of Kitimat did some water flushing that happened in the late morning and early afternoon. The district also posted a notice about the flushing that mentioned that residents living in the Kildalla neighborhood might be noticing some discoloration in their water. The notice has encouraged residents that see this to run their tap water on cold until the water eventually clears up. That wraps up this week's edition of Week in Review. Make sure to tune in to our regular newscast at 5, 6, 6:30, and 11 o'clock here on CFTK-TV. Thanks for tuning in, and have a good weekend.